Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Tulika and on this channel we talk about everything that lives quietly in our minds but feels too heavy to say out loud. From overthinking to emotional exhaustion to those subtle ways we abandon ourselves trying to keep everyone happy. Today we are diving into something painfully familiar to many of us, people pleasing. And no, I do not just mean being helpful or kind. I mean the exhausting, self erasing cycle of doing whatever it takes to avoid disappointing people, even if it means that you are disappointing yourself. Let's be honest. People pleasing feels safe. At first, it feels like a shortcut to love, to approval. But somewhere along the way, it stops feeling like love and starts feeling like being invisible. So, in this video, I want us to unpack it properly, not the motivational surface level, just set boundary stuff, but the real, raw, uncomfortable conversation. Where does this pattern start? Why does it feel impossible to stop? And what does it actually look like to slowly, painfully reclaim your peace without losing your kindness? This is going to be a long, real talk. So, grab your tea, coffee, or blanket, and let's get into it. So part 1, the childhood blueprint. Let's start with where it always starts, the childhood. See, most people who struggle with people pleasing did not just randomly pick up the habit. It's not a personality flaw, it is survival. Maybe your home wasn't loud or violent, but love felt conditional. You were rewarded for being quiet, for being helpful, for being easy. Or maybe it was loud, unpredictable, chaotic, and the only way to feel safe was to keep everyone around you calm, to make them laugh, to avoid being a burden. And slowly you became hyper aware. You noticed your parents' mood before they did. You learned how to adjust your tone, your needs, your entire presence just to maintain peace in the room. And that skill, it does not stay in childhood, it follows you. Suddenly, you are an adult who apologizes for things that are not your fault, overthinks every text before sending it, can't say no without rehearsing a 10-minute explanation in your head, feels guilty for resting, for saying no, for existing outside of other people's expectations. It is exhausting, but it also feels normal. When your worth is tied to how useful, helpful, or likable you are, disappearing for others becomes your second nature. Part 2, the invisible exhaustion. Let's talk about the exhaustion. Because here's the thing, people pleasers don't get exhausted from doing everything, they get exhausted from pretending it is not bothering them. You show up for people, you listen, you support, you cancel your plans, you silence your opinions, you shrink yourself down so much that everything else just feels big. And then you go home and you collapse. Not just physically, but emotionally. You sit there wondering, when do I get to be taken care of? But the truth is, you've trained everyone around you to believe you do not need anything. You've taught them you will be fine, you're the strong one, you're the understanding one. And even though a part of you hates that, another part of you clings to it. Because if you stop being the dependable one, the good one, the easy one, what's left? Who even are you outside of being liked? It's terrifying to ask that, which is why most of us just do not. Part 3, when people pleasing turns into resentment. There's this moment every people pleaser hits, when the resentment starts to build. You say yes, but inside you're screaming no. You help, but inside you're fuming. You show up, but inside you feel invisible. And then comes the dangerous part. You start blaming them. They take me for granted. They never appreciate me. They use me. And maybe that's true, but here's the uncomfortable truth. People can only use the version of you that refuses to say no. They can only take advantage of a boundary you've never set. And no, that does not make their behavior okay, but it does mean your healing starts the day you realize your overgiving is not generosity. It's fear dressed up as kindness. It's the fear of being rejected. It's the fear of disappointing people. It's fear of sitting with your own loneliness. Because saying no creates space. And space, it's terrifying because it is always where you finally meet yourself. So, part 4, what is the fear behind no? Let's be honest. Saying no feels dangerous. Because for a people pleaser, no doesn't feel like a word. It feels like rejection, like a risk. It feels like if I say no, they will be upset. If I say no, they will leave. If I say no, I will disappoint them. If I say no, I won't be enough anymore. And that is the core of it. People pleasing is never just about keeping others happy, it's about keeping yourself safe. Safe from abandonment, safe from conflict, safe from rejection. But we don't realize that every time we say yes out of fear, we abandon ourselves. We reject our own peace. We disappoint our own needs. And over time, that eats you up. It leaves you walking around burnt out, bitter, and quietly breaking inside. And the scariest part is that most people won't even notice because you've gotten so good at performing the okayness. The other part is the discomfort of change. The part 5. Unlearning people pleasing is not glamorous. It's awkward, it's messy, it's uncomfortable. The first time you set a boundary, your whole body panics. The first time you say, I actually can't help with that, your brain floods with guilt. The first time you let someone be disappointed in you, it feels unbearable. But let me say this clearly: discomfort is not a sign you're doing something wrong. It's a sign that you're finally doing something different. You've spent your whole life rehearsing the role of being likable, of being agreeable, of being useful. And of course, changing yourself feels unnatural. But here's the magic: it gets easier. When with every no that does not destroy your world, you rebuild your self trust. With every boundary you hold, you start believing you're worthy of peace. And slowly the discomfort fades. In its what takes its place? Confidence, clarity, calm. Part 6 is the loneliness that no one talks about. Here's what no one has warned you about: the loneliness. When you stop people pleasing, your phone gets quieter. Some friends drift, some relationships feel different, some people disappear altogether. And it's tempting to panic, to wonder, did I make a mistake? But here's the thing: you did not lose people. You lost the version of them that only existed when you kept overgiving. The friendships, the relationships, the connections that survive, those are real. Those are built on honesty, on boundaries, on mutual respect. But to get there, you have to sit with the lonely space in between. It feels heavy, it feels unfamiliar, but it is also free. It's your life unfiltered by other people's expectations. And it's where you finally learn how to be enough for yourself. So, part 7 is that what love looks like after people pleasing. Let me say this gently. The love that comes after you stop people pleasing hits different. It feels calmer, softer, safer. It's not performative, it's not transactional, it is not exhausting. You don't have to shrink, you don't have to audition. You just exist and you're loved. And the friendships that stay, the ones that come later, they love your no as much as they love your yes. They will respect your boundaries, they will respect your honesty, they will even appreciate it, even when it is inconvenient. And that is how you know it is safe. But to get there, you have to be brave enough to lose the fake love first. I want to end this conversation with a reminder you probably never got growing up. Choosing yourself is not selfish, it is survival, it is healing. It's coming home to the version of you that existed before the world convinced you you had to earn love. You don't have to audition for respect. You don't have to perform for peace. You don't have to disappear to deserve space in any room. Your no is valid. Your boundaries are valid. Your needs are valid. And the people who love you, the real ones, they will never make you shrink to stay. So, if this conversation felt like looking in a mirror, if you're tired of bending, shrinking, explaining, overthinking, you are not alone and you're not broken. You're just exhausted and maybe finally ready to come back to yourself. If you've been through this, share your story in the comments. If you're still figuring it out, that's okay. We all are. You don't have to fix everything overnight, but we can get better together. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being honest. Thank you for choosing yourself, even if it is terrifying. I'm proud of you, and I'll see you in the next one.